Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Studio 31 at CBS Television City in Hollywood, where the new SkeltN show, presented by Johnson's Wax, makers of super hard gloss glow coat, is about to begin.
Red SkeltN was one of the greatest comic actors of the 20th century. You've probably never heard of anything he's been in, but he graced each and every performance with his unique brand of buffoonery, chicanery, general tomfoolery, and don't forget his shenanigans. But there's more to a skeleton than just a funny bone, as Red SkeltN demonstrates. He wasn't always doing comedy for comedy's sake. Sometimes it was a remedy for tragedy. Red SkeltN was born around 1913 in Vincennes, Indiana. Red is actually his middle name, with his first name being Richard. Dick SkeltN grew up poor, so started working at the age of 7 so he'd be slightly less poor. This included work as a paper boy, where his strategy was to not shut up till someone bought his paper. One of his customers was the star of a local show, and took SkeltN to meet the other performers, which officially inspired him to pursue a career in acting. He dropped out of school around the age of 13 or 14, and started his career working at a showboat, in burlesque houses, and minstrel shows. Goddammit. As Red SkeltN moved on with the times and became a vaudeville performer and master of ceremonies, he met his first wife, Edna, who actually helped write some of his bits, such as Donut Dunkers, an impression of how people ate donuts. This proved to be one of his most popular bits, and eventually he made his way to performing at the goddamn White House. FDR loved Red SkeltN's style and grace, and had him as the master of ceremonies at his birthday celebrations for several years. He would have danced around in excitement after hearing SkeltN's routine, but he had polio, so that would have been too hard for him. After he had mastered enough ceremonies, Red SkeltN broke into film, playing Wally the Fox Benton in Whistling in the Dark, Whistling in Dixie, and Whistling in Brooklyn. He had to abandon his original goal of whistling in every American location to act in other films. There's too many to name, so they're just gonna flash on screen really fast. And then he was drafted into World War II in 1944. What do you mean that came out of nowhere? What are you talking about? During his time in the special services, Red SkeltN doubled as an entertainer for the troops. Performing 12 shows a day stressed him out on account of it being too stressful. While hospitalized after a nervous breakdown, he met a critically wounded soldier and made the shocking discovery that entertaining one guy was way less stressful than a whole ass crowd. The soldier made a miraculous recovery, and so did Red SkeltN, all through the power of comedy. After the war, Red SkeltN got into television while it was still young, with the Red SkeltN Show premiering in 1951 on NBC, and later moving to CBS. It ran for 20 years, Jesus Christ, though he kept having health problems, and yet, this is where I gotta drop the stupid announcer voice because it's too sad. So he had a hernia, his son died of cancer, and he fell down the stairs so bad he was put in the hospital for a month. They said he had a 9 out of 10 chance of dying, all in really short span of each other. And so his show gets canceled for being too old. He's gone from TV a while, and then he wants to come back and gradually work his way back to TV, being on talk shows, and then his second wife, Georgia, just committed suicide during that, so that put that on hold. He just never got a break around this time, poor guy. It does end on a high note, though. He does end up coming back to TV in his last few years and doing stuff, so I can put the stupid announcer voice on again to talk about what he made in his later years. I'm just gonna flash it on screen again. Look at it. Red SkeltN had other interests besides acting, like painting, clowns, and only clowns, around 1,000 total clown paintings, and selling them. People looked at this and decided they wanted it in their house, watching them, knowing their secrets, knowing where they hid the body. This one's a cowboy. Red SkeltN passed away on September 17th, 1997, Leaving behind a legacy of joy and entertainment, he managed to get several awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and after his death, a Performing Arts Center and Museum of Comedy named after him, both in his hometown. With all that he went through in his life, Red SkeltN showed how comedy can help with grief and turmoil. And so can making clown paintings, apparently. There's also nowhere else like fit this in the script. I just really like this picture of him. It's funny. Danny DeVito looking ass. It's cool.
So next week, when our show is brought to you by Pet Milk, may we say good night and good luck. Good night.